this is Sarge, and we're going to be looking at the Knockout at 300 and MAC-10 as the most deadliest combo for the professional class in Battlefield Hardline. Now, the way the unlock model works for Battlefield Hardline is that you have to acquire cash in the game, and you do that by performing objectives or killing people, etc. And you use the cash to purchase and unlock weapons for your class. But in this case, for these two specific weapons, these are only assignment based, and so you have to complete certain objectives and assignments to unlock these two weapons specifically. And the reason behind that is because of the fact that they're incredibly good. And running both a primary, such as the 300 Knockout that does extreme damage, and then a secondary MAC-10, which is basically a submachine gun as a sidearm, you have two weapons that sort of complement each other in almost any type of range or a situation, and just decimates your enemies. And so the grinding process to unlocking these weapons and the whole idea behind all that, there's been a couple videos out there to explain how to do that, so I don't want to go into detail on how to unlock them, but I will say most people have struggled most with the camera coins and the tier 4 reputation. And so the way I did it the fastest was playing large ticket servers, primarily TDM for the camera coins, and then for tier 4 was Hotwire. You can also have a friend become a hacker and promote your squad to later tiers, and so I'm sure there's a lot of videos out there explaining that, but for me that's what worked the fastest. You can try to do it on your own just by playing regularly, but that might take a while, but I think in general, once you actually get to use these weapons to try them out for the first time, it's going to be worth it. If you look at the damage model here for Bad Company, you'll notice that the M95 at the bottom shows that it does max damage for up to 10 meters. This would increase if you're running with an upgrade called Magnum Ammo up to 25 meters, meaning you could kill your targets for up to 25 meters if you hit them anywhere in the body. And this was something that we haven't seen in previous Battlefield titles, and is what ultimately made snipers in Bad Company a competitive class to the also favorite assault and light machine guns. Now in Battlefield 3, we saw them tone down the damage and put it at a static 15 meters. And they introduced the idea of only one-shotting if you hit the torso on up. Anything below the waist didn't one-shot them. And then in Battlefield 4, the SAR-21 being the hardest hitting sniper rifle, they toned it down even more to 12.5. So they went from 15 meters in Battlefield 3 to 12.5 in Battlefield 4. Battlefield Hardline copied that same model from Battlefield 4, so you can only one-shot your targets from up to 12.5 with both the AMW and R700. Now here's where it gets pretty crazy. The 300 does max damage for up to 50 meters. That is 5-0. That is much farther than the previous sniper rifles that has ever been introduced in Battlefield series ever. This is something that we haven't seen at all. It even rivals Bad Company, which had probably the best damage model. And so they do still have the whole idea of you can only hit certain spots of the body to one-shot them. In this case, it's the torso on up. So if you hit the leg or the foot, it will not kill your target, even if you point-blank shoot them. But it has to be torso to head. It's still 50 meters. That's insane. And so that's what makes this weapon in its own category all by itself, and what makes it ideally probably the most deadliest sniper rifle that Battlefield has ever seen. You combine that with the MAC-10, which has an extremely high rate of fire, highest rate of fire for the secondaries that you can unlock for the professional class. You basically have a deadly combo. You have one that punches extremely hard, comes already suppressed, by the way. If you guys did not know that, the 300 already comes with a built-in suppressor, so you don't even pop up on the mini-map when you're firing your weapon. And then you have the MAC-10, which has extreme high rate of fire, so if you do happen to miss your target up close, you can pull out that secondary and almost guarantee your kill. And so you have two weapons that complement each other in almost any distance. The only drawback is if you're going to go for those 14 times from across the map with the 300, it probably won't be ideal because of the drop rate. The bullet drop for the 300 is absolutely atrocious, It's probably not ideal to use it as a long-range sniper. It wasn't built to be designed like that. This weapon specifically caters to the aggressive recon movement. And in a game like Battlefield Hardline, where all the maps are designed around close-quarter engagements, even the large Conquest 64 mans are pretty small compared to the traditional Battlefield maps. You're going to be wanting to use weapons that cater to that playstyle. Aka close range combat, close quarter situations. And so that's the primary role for, I would assume, one would play the professional class. I think the 14 times would be just for specific cases, unless you just like to stay way back into your spawn camp and try to pick off a lot of people. But I think in most cases you're going to be up close, up front, and you want a sniper rifle that can deliver. This is going to be the one. You run this weapon as your primary, you pick the submachine gun or the MAC-10 as your secondary, and you have the deadliest combo that has ever been introduced for the professional, aka the new Recon class in Battlefield Hardline. And so hopefully you guys are able to get grind this one out. I will put a link in the description on some videos that will help you or help explain that further on how to unlock them, because it is quite a process. But hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and stay tuned for some more. I'm probably going to be using this weapon as my primary. Well, I don't think there's any other reason to use another weapon. If there is a weapon I would suggest that would be ideal other than the 300 knockout, it would be the Scout Elite. I think out of the 3 that we have that's offered for the professional class, Scout Elite rivals the other 2 due to the fact that it has such a high rate of fire, and you're still going to one-shot your target if you headshot them. So I would just stick with the Scout Elite until you can grind out the 300 knockout. But once you get the knockout, you can consider that being your primary sniper rifle for quite some time, unless they introduce a weapon that's either on par with it in future DLCs, or which I don't think they would actually make one that rivals even that one. For attachments, I would suggest using the extended mags or the straight pull for the 300 knockout. For the MAC-10, I would suggest using either extended mags or right now I'm using the suppressor, which makes my complete setup a silent one. So you run around with suppressor on MAC-10, and then the 300 being automatically suppressed basically makes you hard to kill. And so those are the attachments that I'm using for my weapons at the moment. It seems to work well for me. Maybe you guys might find something out there that works for you. So those are some suggestions. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and stay tuned for more upcoming Battlefield Hardline videos on my channel. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.